Oh, it's time. Okay. Good evening to each and everyone. Welcome to Exodia Live on this Sunday. We are really grateful to all of you for following us, encouraging us, and liking and sharing our videos. Those who joined our programs, we are really grateful. Today, we have a very sensitive topic, suicide. And I have with me Dr. Stephen Titus, NLP master practitioner and master trainer. He's trained in Gestalt therapy, counseling, transactional analysis, and a member of the team Exodia. Above all, he is a close friend and a co-traveler. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
And Steve will continue from here.
Thank you, Leo. And we generally become aware of this reality of suicide when someone we know commits it. So suicide is a desperate act. So to discuss about this and to explore it a little and to make it, what we can do practical, with me is Leo Lobo, and my close friend, and that what I love about what his introduction is, we are co-travelers. That is great. And he is a master practitioner of NLP and the master trainer, and he is trained in photo language, Gestalt, and a lot of other psychotherapy. And he's a good trainer. And Leo, I want to leave you with the first question. This is a desperate act, I told. How does a person get into this state of desperation?
Okay, based on my experience in working with the people who have or had suicidal tendencies, they come to a point where they see no option at all. We call it as a dead end. When they come to this dead end, basically they see no hope. That's a hopeless situation. And from my experience, I have found out there are many reasons why people reach this stage. One of many reasons, one is the losses. It could be a loss of loved one. The grief they are in, they cannot handle. They find what is the worth of being here? Loss could be financial. Suddenly there's something happens. Maybe a millionaire becomes a pauper. What happens to that? Loss could be a loss of job or relationship or love failure or any other loss in that. It also could be for a parent when the children don't measure up to the expectations. They lose their face. And basically what is behind all this thing is what people think about me. My image is collapsed in front of them. That's my opinion. When that happens, I find no hope to live.
Yeah.
And this probably stemming out from I'm not feeling good within myself. I'm worthless. I'm useless. I am good for nothing. We call these beliefs as the limiting beliefs or identity beliefs of a person. When a person suffers from these beliefs, he loses the hope. And when the hope is lost, the person encounters this state of desperation.
Right, right.
Yes, Steve, now, it would be interesting in our work. You have done a lot of work. I have done a lot of work. What do you think are the things normal people can do? How do we identify such people?
Right, right. So there are the very beautifully you summarized the person how the desperate situation is. That is, there is no possibility anymore, and the loss of image or loss of some kind of a loss or tremendous anger to make somebody feel guilty. by doing all these things. These are the things that is, and what do we observe in such situation? The first thing I would notice is the eyes. How bright are the eyes, or lack of brightness in the eye? That is, the eye reveals a lot. Second is the voice. And what do I hear in the voice? When somebody talks, they can talk very quietly. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. Or, oh, I'm fine. Lots of energy. And there is the tempo and the tone that tells a lot, the tone. And the words also reveal a lot along with the voice. If they use, oh, I'm useless, or if they use the word, what is the use? There is no hope. There is no other way. Nothing can be done. These are the key words that would express the helplessness, hopelessness, or worthlessness. And usually also it is accompanied by, there is no feelings at all in their way of talking. There is no emotions. That tells us lack of energy, because feelings are energy. Or sudden change in the pattern. Suddenly the person becomes withdrawn, disconnects from people, extremely quiet, or suddenly the person becomes very exuberant. The thing is, there is some kind of a mismatch between what they say and do, and how they are, the body language and the talking. There is some kind of a mismatch. And when we observe this, we can generally, there is something is going on internally. So it would be nice in case when somebody observes all these things, maybe the eyes, the words, and the lack of energy, no emotions, things like that. What can be done? That you could go into, Leo.
The very important and first and foremost thing is to observe. As Steve has mentioned, observe the behavior. Now, once you observe certain patterns or certain behaviors, feed back to the person your observation. Say, for example, a person is aloof. Suddenly person goes, is just aloof, or person looks like a walking corpse. Like there is no energy. I would rather point it out to the person, hey, I find you aloof for the past 2 days. What is happening? Would you like to talk about it? I would go like that. Then the person feels there is a support coming from outside. So observation, point it out, and feedback. That is the first and foremost thing I would do. Another, follow it up with just listen. Listen to the person. They may have a story to say. Anything at all, just listen. No evaluation, no judgment. And when we reply to the person, I would say, in NLP we say, don't use why questions. Avoid why questions totally. Why? WHY. In NLP we call it as the dirtiest possible question. Because when we use a why question, we make the person resistive or impulsive or, documental. He will go on and on narrating things. So I would say, listen. If possible, help the person get into the emotions, because Steve said they're just devoid of any emotion. They're just there, existing. Help the person to get into the emotion, maybe anger, maybe sadness. If it is necessary, allow the person to cry. It's perfectly all right. No problem at all. Once that is done, gently make the person to focus on what does the person want. Gently allow the person, ask the person, hey, what is that you want? How do you want to be? These two questions, if you put it across, the person goes in and say, hey, he opens up. And that opening up will help us to lead him or her further. And Steve will help us to understand how we can really go ahead in a different direction.
That's right.
From now.
So, Leo, that is very well put. First, observe and feedback, and two questions: what happened, and what do you want, and what is the feeling, and get in touch with that. The in after this, what we will be particularly observing would be: is there a trauma? Trauma means, as Leo explained in the first place, is there a loss of some person, loss of some property, loss of job, or what is it? Is there a loss, grief behind it? Or is there an anger, tremendous anger? All right. So once we identify this, it could be a trauma. If it is a trauma, in NLP, we have got a beautiful exercise. This can be done with by any trained NLP practitioner. It is called visual kinesthetic dissociation. That can be done. It's a very simple process. It can be done, or it could be loss of name. I lost my image. I lost my this one. That is, my self-worth comes from outside. All right. So if my self-worth comes from outside, who I am and how worthy I am, it is to do with belief. All right. Then there is what is known as the belief change. You need to go for that kind of a intervention. So these two can be done by anybody who is trained in NLP or Gestalt. So once that is done, actually the cure starts, and the person can find their way. So, and this is the little technical side of the whole thing, and what everybody can do to avoid the crisis. We don't need to come to the crisis. So what everybody can do, that is what I would ask Leo to take that road. What everybody can do right now.
Yeah, because many people are not professional that way, but one can be doing some little thing to help the person to come out of this state. Thank you, Steve. It's a very, very important step, because what we do normally is we hear a lot of statements like it is better prevented from than curing it. Okay, prevention is better than cure. I would say, why fall sick when you can be healthy? Can I work myself towards my mental health, mental resilience, than unnecessary going in the direction of desperation? Well, that's what I want to focus now. What is that I can do? How do I prevent myself going into desperation? Now, one important thing is involve in life. Just involve, because we have not chosen this life. Remember this. You and I did not choose to come into this world. We didn't choose this. For having come, can I involve myself completely with energy, enthusiasm, excitement? That's one aspect which will help me to keep away all these negative thoughts and reaching the dead end. That's one thing. Well, there's one more unit all of us have, where people, whether they like it or not, need to welcome us. That's our family. Isn't it, Steve?
Yes.
That's very important. The family dynamics plays an important role in making a person strong or weak. So can I involve myself in the family? In the process, can I enhance my communication, share, care, laugh, even little fight? Perfectly all right. I'm involving in the family. That's family unit. When things go wrong, sometimes things may go wrong, surely. And that's the time, just pause and reach out. Reach out to a friend or a confidant or a counselor or a family member. Just reach out. Or seek professional help. Professional help is just a call away today. Right? That's what is important. Reach out. Become aware of options we have. Well, other day, somebody came and told me I lost the job, life is lost, etc., etc. I said, wow, can you think of other options? We have plenty of options. Problem is a situation, we have only one option for a particular case or particular issue. When you have different options, there is no problem at all. That's what happens. And finally, I would like to understand attach and detach. These are the two things are very important. Can I attach myself to things, people, relationships, which energizes me, which enthuses me, which makes me really get excited, and detach from things, people, and situations and relationship which drain me, make me really feel small, belittle me. Can I detach from this? So think about these two things. Attach to something which energizes you, detach from things which drain you.
Yeah.
This is what is important to understand. Steve?
Yes. Leo, what I would say this to anybody who is looking at themselves or those who are, as you said, in the family, is where is my emphasis? Is my emphasis on the external importance, what I'm giving about myself or about my children? Is it the external or the internal? For example, am I teaching my children that your marks are more important than you, or that you are coming first in the class is more important than you? And the same standard am I applying to myself? Is my degree more important than me, or my profession or money more important than me? That is the first question I'll ask. Where is my importance? And in case my importance has been external, this is the time to check and focus inside. That external was possible only because of Steve here. Otherwise, the external will not be possible. Maybe my degree, maybe my profession, maybe the money I earned, everything is possible because of me. It is squarely better to come back to self. So who am I without these feathers? That is the first question. And if I'm able to find that answer, the worth there, that is the really, come home. Second, Viktor Frankl, I would like to, anybody who hasn't read Viktor Frankl, I would definitely encourage them to do that. Man's Search for Meaning is the wonderful book. It is translated into any number of languages. And there is one more book, Yes to Life by Viktor Frankl. And both, it's beautifully explains that our goal in life is not happiness. Because we have got happiness is only one emotion. We have got anger, we have got disappointment, we have got many things. So our goal in life is find the meaning. That's what he says. And how do we go about it is this. Usually people expect life to give something. Instead, he says, he's reflecting Kant, the philosopher Kant, and he says, ask this question: what life expects from me right now? So this makes sense in the case of what Leo mentioned. In the family, I'm sitting there and my wife is, in the kitchen and I'm observing it. And he says that meaning you find here and now. So what life is asking me right now? Maybe I feel like just going and joining her in the kitchen and start talking, or start washing the vessels, or start, when my son is studying, just go in and find out what is happening. So it is usually you discover meaning in the here and now by this question: what life is expects of me right now? That would lead you to the genuine involvement, what Leo talked about just now. And usually the answer is in terms of action. Okay. And Kierkegaard, the Soren Kierkegaard again, he says the door to happiness always opens outward. You cannot open the door inward. Therefore, there is no way we can close in on ourselves. It needs to be opened outward. Therefore, reach out, open out, and then find what is the meaning right now in action. So these are the things I would leave you with. And one final statement, this is the challenge I want to give to everybody, or this is the kind of exercise I want to give. Just repeat this: my needs are as important as others' needs. Usually, the people who go for suicide or the people who are externally oriented, they put others' need before their need. So, just repeat this: my needs are as important as your needs. Let this sink in. This will summarize the whole thing, and you would be in a good space. Whether you are angry, whether you are sad, whether you are happy, you would be very, very, very solid foundation. My needs are as important as your needs. Leo, go ahead.
Well, that's summarized well, Steve. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, right? And when road you're trudging seem all uphill, when funds are low, debts are high, and you want to smile, but only thing what you can do is only sigh. That's the time. Don't quit. Just reach out. We at Exodia, we have a trained team of experts in NLP. We would like to be there whenever you want us. Come to our programs, come to watch our videos and share them. We are really grateful for you. You're doing that wonderfully, helping us to reach out as many people as possible to save lives. Remember, we haven't come into this world by choice. Let's not go out of this world by choice. That's important. Instead, let's decide to live with a healthy mind for joyful living. And that's all for today. Thank you very much. Both of us, on behalf of Steve and I extend a very grateful, gratitude-filled thanks. Okay. So see you next week. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this listening to us.